uses the ball screen. With 3 seconds, 2, puts it up, and in!
It outside, Lyles, here he is. And the Retrievers take the 3-point lead. Kicks it back outside, 3-point shot again. They hit another long-range shot. Lyles.
They got an open floor for Lyles.
Lyles will put it up from the wing. 3 more.
How about that? Gives it up plenty of time. Look at this.
And Lyles. Lyles going past Wilkins, putting it up, and it falls. The kid's on fire.
He is.
Shock and awe in college basketball. UMBC makes history in Charlotte.
Well, this is one of the best times of year, March Madness. Everybody, I think it's the best weekend of the entire year for sports and especially for basketball. And dude, it's a pleasure to be here. The star of 2018 March Madness, Jairus Lyles.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
Dude, it's fun to sit down with you. You had such an interesting 12 months. 12 months ago, you're sitting in your, in Maryland. You guys had just lost to Albany by like 44 points. And we'll kind of back into your story a little bit more, but go through the mindset at that point. Did you have any idea that this team could become something special?
I mean, coming into that season, we knew we just had a really good season. We kind of snuck up on some people the previous season. So we knew, like, coming into that season, people would be prepared for us. But we always knew in the back of our head what we could do, what we were capable of. So I don't think anything that happened that season was a surprise. And, through seasons you go through ups and downs, and it's how you respond that get you over the hump. So we lost to Albany about 40. I think we lost to Vermont about 30-something that year too. But we always stayed together and just, kept pushing through, kept fighting throughout the year. And, we ended up winning the championship.
Yeah. So growing up, did you watch a lot of the basketball tournament? Did you ever, did you have a favorite team that you cheered for growing up as a kid?
That's funny because, like, growing up as a kid, I was, like, more into football because that's what I think I started playing football first before I started playing basketball. I mean, I always played, like, basketball and football and baseball, but not on teams. So I think I first started playing on a team with football. So I was just focused on football and doing that. I never really watched the NCAA tournament or anything, but not until I think, let's say middle school, I started watching like more basketball, like NBA and then NCAA, stuff like that. Nice.
Well, I remember when I was a kid and, I remember when I was just a little kid, I think there was a 15 seed beat a 2 seed. Syracuse got beat. I can't remember who it was, and it was like the biggest. It was always this like, would a 16 ever be able to beat a 1? And the answer was always no. It was always no. It doesn't ever happen. And then I remember one year, North Carolina it was like tied at the half, and it was kind of like, okay, this is something.
That's usually how the game start pretty close, and then the number 1 seed usually pulls away in that second half.
Yeah, it's like they can hang around so long. I always said growing up though, and it's kind of funny because it's what happened in your game. I always said if somebody gets hot, they could single-handedly pull their team to the victory if they can hang around long enough. Right? In basketball, one dude gets hot, and that's kind of what happened to you in the second half.
Yeah, that's what. I mean, not only me. I think I was hot that game, but I think we were like. I don't think we missed that much in the second half.
No, your whole team.
Joe Sherburne was hitting. He kind of like came out and started the run in the second half.
Yeah.
Arkel Lamar, he was making his threes. KJ was getting in the paint, distributing and finishing. He was hitting his threes. Jordan Grant. So I think like I can name somebody from top to bottom and say what he did to help us win that game. Even the people on the bench, just from the excitement to them cheering and them keeping my head in it, like going into the second half, and just staying positive throughout that game.
Yeah, well, it's funny. Because I had just watched, the day before it was the Friday night game, and so Thursday I'd watched a ton of basketball. Friday I'd watched a ton of basketball. I was kind of over it, and so I went out to go do something. And all of a sudden, my buddy texts me, and he's like, "Bro, tell me you're watching this?" And I was like, "Watching what?" I pulled up my phone, and it was like I think all over the country, no matter where you were at, it was like you had to scramble and get to a TV and see what was going on.
Yeah.
Well, I want to back it up because I think one of the cool things about your story, the thing that makes it so unique, is you not only played for UMBC, but you transferred a couple different times. And you also, you played high school. You grew up playing high school with Victor Oladipo and some other really great players. So did that help you not get caught in the moment for, that big moment playing against a number 1 seed? You'd played against some of the best competition in the world.
Yeah, like I just think coming from like me growing up is when like AAU really started to get into the circuits, and then the Nike circuit, and the Adidas circuit, and the Under Armour circuit. So everything was just really competitive. I played with my first AAU team was Maryland Madness, and then we turned to IB23, and then I ended up leaving IB23 to go to Takeover, which is a real big AAU program, Nike program, and then the competition when you get to like the Nike circuit is just like you playing against people you're gonna be playing against that's gonna be going high majors, and on that circuit, and then going to the Matha and playing under great coaches. Mike Jones was my head coach, and then getting I wouldn't say playing with Victor because I was a freshman. I didn't really play. I played JV, and then I ended up moving to varsity halfway through the year. So just getting to see like Victor, Quinn Cook, Jaron Grant, Jeremy Grant. I actually played with Jeremy Grant and James Robinson and a couple other people. I won't name everybody, but I just think being around greatness like throughout my growing periods helped me a lot with that moment.
Yeah, I can imagine just being able to learn from those people and just being surrounded where you're not caught up in the moment. Yeah. You probably helped your teammates do that same thing. Well, then you out of high school, so you ended up signing with VCU, right? With Shaka Smart.
Yep.
And how'd you decide that was where you wanted to play at originally?
I think coming out of high school, that was the only visit I did. I probably should have took a lot more visits just to get the experience to get like different feels from different coaches and how the program is, how the school is, and everything. But I think I rushed that decision going into I was very, very immature like coming out of high school, which is most kids are. But I went down there for a visit. I had previously went down there for like a little camp that they just brought like top prospects to, and then they just put like random people on random teams, and they said they were interested in me. I've been seeing me there, and then I ended up coming on a visit, and I think I committed either on that visit or when I got home that day or the next day. But it was, I felt at home when I went to that visit. They showed me love. The coaching staff, the players were friendly. They showed me love, and I thought I could, have a great career there. But everything doesn't work out that way when you get there. So no regrets there. I still talk to Coach Smart. He still talks to my mom and everything. So we still cool and everything. But it just didn't work out the way it was supposed to.
It was kind of cool because Shaka Smart, he really kind of came on the scene when VCU made their run. Yeah. They were the underdogs, right? And so it's kind of funny that kind of became a little bit more of your, what you became very well known for as well.
For sure.
So how did you, what happened to make you decide? Because you decide after your freshman year at VCU, you're going to transfer.
I just think not playing and then seeing, you got to always look at who they're bringing in as incoming freshmen coming in too. So, and if there's a lot of people at your position and that they already know, sometimes it could be like, well, maybe I won't play, or if I stay, maybe I'll play. So I just said I'm going to go ahead and leave and transfer. And I thought that was the best decision for me at that time. Then I ended up transferring to Robert Morris, which I ended up only staying there for a semester, and then transferring to UMBC after that, my sophomore semester, second semester of my sophomore year.
And so when you got to UMBC, you had to sit out a year, is that correct?
Yeah, I had to sit out. Well, because I was already sitting out a year for the Robert Morris, for transferring to Robert Morris. So I had to sit out the rest of that year because I transferred mid-semester, and then I had to sit out a half a semester going into my junior year.
Okay. Yeah. And then your first year at UMBC, you had a great year, but your team, I think, won 7 or 8 games?
Yeah, we didn't win that many games. I don't remember the exact number, but it was less than double digits. It was a hard year. I had a good year individually, but it was a hard year for us as a team.
I think I read before you got there, the 7 years prior, they'd won 41 games or something.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Before, and then when I got there, it was still bad, and then we turned it around that next year, and then the following year after that.
Yeah. So your senior year, then you're coming up into I think it's the America East, is that right? America East Conference. And you're playing Vermont in the championship. Talk us a little bit through that, because you had a magical moment before the tournament even started. Tell us a little bit about how that game came about, the end of that.
Yeah, that's actually, people probably think I'm crazy, but that was that moment right there is bigger to me than the one beating Virginia as a 16 seed, because we don't get there if we don't win that game. And given the history we had with UMBC, we had beat Vermont in, I think it was 7 years, or Albany that year. It was a long time since we had beat either one of those teams. So I think that game right there gave us confidence going into the Virginia game. But it just shows you how like resilient as a team we were that year. To beat them on their home floor with a buzzer beater, it was crazy.
Well, you pulled up. There was about 7 seconds left. You had the ball. Did you know right away I'm going to be pulling a three, or did the coach call that play?
No, it was like he was trying to. My coach Odom was actually trying to call like another play. He was trying to run something. I think I would have ended up getting a shot regardless, but I think the best shot we would have gotten is if I go ISO at the top of the key, because then nobody can really come trap. And then I just thought that me ISO at the top of the key was the best play, because if I give the ball up, they're not gonna let me get it back. So I had to wave off that play he called.
I love it, man. So after you hit that shot, you know you're going to be in the tournament.
Yeah.
Did you guys have an idea where you were probably going to be seated?
We thought we would be. We thought we had a pretty good year, so we thought we would be higher than 16. But we were 16.
Where were you guys at when you found out you were going to be the 16 team playing what was the number one team in the entire tournament, which was Virginia?
We actually threw like a little watching party. So they threw us a watching party. We were on campus, somewhere on campus. We had family there, friends there, and then people from the school there, president of the school, and we watched it there as a community, because that's the UMBC community. So we watched it there, and that's what we found out. We would be playing Virginia.
Sorry, honest first thoughts when you saw you were playing Virginia. I mean, they had just ran through the ACC.
Yeah.
Number one team in the nation, 31-2. What were your honest thoughts?
We were like, damn, like, damn, this is a real good defensive team. We were like, shit. So, I mean, but at the end of the day, we were like, it didn't really matter who you play. They're going to count us out. So we knew we had to be prepared no matter who we were playing.
And so had you watched Virginia at all during the season, or did you know anything about them at that point?
I mean, I just always know them from, they always got a really good defense.
Yeah.
And then my freshman year at VCU, we actually played Virginia, and we beat them on a buzzer beater.
Oh, nice.
Trayvon Graham, who's playing with the Brooklyn Nets right now, he hit a buzzer beater to beat them. But I always know them from just being real disciplined. Pack line defense. They're going to make you work for everything. But they're never really that. They're okay offensively, but they're never really like that. Just a team that's gonna just keep their foot on the pedal.
Yeah,
they're gonna run the clock down 24 seconds every possession. They're gonna make you work defensively and offensively. So we knew it was gonna be a grind.
So 16 seeds were 0-135 coming in that game. How did your coach even get you guys ready for that?
I mean, we weren't even really thinking about like, oh, let's be the first 16 seed to beat a 1 seed. We were just going in and like look at Virginia, like they lose pretty much early in the tournament every year. So it's not like and then we knew it was March Madness. We anything can happen as long as we play how we supposed to play. And it's just basketball at the end of the day. So I don't think it was like we prepared for that game just like we would prepare for any other game. It was just like a higher focused, better attention to detail, more believing. But I mean, we just prepared for it like any other game.
And where was that game played at? Was it in North Carolina?
We played it in Charlotte.
Charlotte, right?
Yeah.
And so you go down there and you guys have to sit through the first day and a half of games. Are you just chomping at the bit to get ready to go play?
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting. It's like, I mean, especially because it's our first time being in the tournament. I went to the tournament with VCU, but it's different because I wasn't playing at VCU, so I knew it was just like, all right, let me just sit on this bench and see what happens. But now, like, you the main guy on this team that you're about to go up against a number 1 seed, and y'all could possibly win. So it's just a different focus, but it was exciting. It was like a little nerve wracking at first, like going to the game, knowing that how high of a game this is, what type of magnitude this game plays. So it was exciting.
Well, and something a lot of people don't know about your story is you are actually a graduate student, so you had the opportunity if you wanted to transfer without sitting out. I know Kansas and Florida, some other big schools were rumored to be coming after you, but you decided to stay at UMBC. Was there ever a moment when you thought, I think I might look into transferring? Because, I mean, you had no idea what your season was going to end up becoming, right? You'd finished 5th in the division the year before. Was that tempting to transfer?
I mean, I think, like, going into college and then, like, going through college, like, if I ever get especially if you're, like, a mid-major or a low-major school, you're like, if I ever get a chance to if I get an extra year, like everybody always says, like, oh, I'm gonna go high major, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. But like when the time came, I was just like, man, we got a good team here. Like I might as well stay because I already transferred twice.
Yeah.
So I mean, I didn't want to deal with having to learn a whole new coaching staff again, make new friends with the team, and then like just building chemistry that they already have because this is one new player. Well, not new because they got freshmen too, but like one new player coming in that's already played. So I didn't feel like dealing with all that stuff. But I mean, we had a good team, and then I liked where I was at, so I just said I'm gonna stay. I knew we'd go win the championship, and we ended up doing that. So, you know, it paid off.
Well, it's just a cool part that, you know, once I heard about that, you're part of the story. But also a funny part is your parents actually went to Virginia. Is that correct?
Yeah. They both went to Virginia. That's where they met. Then my dad ended up going to the NFL from Virginia, and then they had me. He finishing his career in Arizona with the Cardinals, and then that's why I was born with my sister. And my brother was born in San Diego.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So were they Virginia football fans growing up?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all because my mom and dad got divorced when I was like 1.
Okay. So
I never really had that. I never really lived with my father like in a time where I could actually understand what was going on. I was so damn young. So, but by the time I got to actually meet him when I was a knowing boy of age where I can understand things, it was I think I was around like 9. So I'm not sure if they were Virginia fans growing up. I know my mom's from DC, my dad's from DC too, but I'm not sure if they were Virginia fans at all.
Nice. Well, so the game starts, and you guys played pretty good in the first half. You go into halftime tied at 21. Did Coach have any special speech or anything going into the second half, or how did you guys handle the situation that you were like, all right, we're in this game, we're not even playing our best, and we're right here, right?
I mean, I think that's it right there. We were like, you know, we still in this game. We weren't playing our best basketball. I think we had got the nerves out that first half. We knew the defensive focus was going to be mainly on me because of like the player I am. So, you know, my guys came in. We came in the second. I didn't have a good first half. My guys came in. They were like, "Yo, you gonna have to lead us in the second half, and you gonna have to take us there." And we would just follow suit. So I think right there that gave me a lot of more. Well, I already had confidence, but that gave me more confidence. Just showed me that they were believing in me. And then I think it showed when we got out there in the second half, like Joe coming out hitting like 2 back-to-back big threes.
Yeah.
I just think I think we wanted to win that game. Like we really wanted to win that game, but it wasn't just about like a 16 seed beating a 1 seed. It was just like we wanted to win that game just because it was like our first time being in the tournament. Like who knows when we'll be back? Like because my last year, KJ's last year, Jordan's last year, and then the other guys, like who knows when we'll be back? So let's try to win this game, get as far in the tournament as we can.
So yeah, I mean, you guys came out on fire. Like you said, your teammate had back-to-back 3-point plays, and then all of a sudden you started just going on fire. I think you hit 5 or 6 straight shots.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, before you knew it, you guys were up 14.
Yeah.
Did you kind of see it in the Virginia players? Could you feel that they were kind of like,
for
oh
sure.
no?
Yeah, for sure. It was like because we were picking up full court and we were taking them out of their offense. Like we watched film on them a lot, and like throughout that week heading into the game, and we saw like in the ACC nobody really picked them up full court. Nobody pressured their guards. So we had the defensive player of the year in our conference, KJ Moore, picking up full court, and he's small, so people probably be like, "Oh, we'll just back him down," But he was he's annoying. Like he's gonna be there he's not really gonna bite on many moves. He's gonna be right there every time you shoot. He might foul you a couple of times. You're gonna be annoyed with him by the end of the game. So he did a good job, and he kind of led us on defense as far as like our pressure, just making them like work for everything. And then I think it carried over to the offensive end because we got to get out in transition because they weren't making a lot of shots. So we got to, and that's what we're best at in transition. And I just fed off like, you know, Joe hitting a lot of everybody was playing confident, and like even if you're the best one on the team, like sometimes you need to be able to feed off other people's energy, and it was real good energy out there for our team. You know, everybody making shots, smiling, making plays for everybody.
Yeah, you guys it almost got to a point as just a random fan watching. I was so excited that you guys were hanging around, and then all of a sudden it was like you almost got to the point where you felt bad for the Virginia guys. You started to think of yourself like, man, these guys are like, you know. But then you guys were having so much fun.
Yeah.
Like, at what point did you were like, oh, this is done, we got this? Because you guys went up 14. I think you hit like a running 3 and put your team up by 14. And then you could just kind of see, like, at what point did you guys like, oh, this thing's in the bag?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it was a specific moment where we said that, and if it was, I probably wouldn't remember.
Yeah.
But I just think, like, coming out, I just think going into that game, we knew we could win that game. They had their DeAndre Hunter was out,
right,
their best offensive player, so we knew that would limit them offensively too. But I just think coming into that game, we just knew we could win, and it showed. And then coming out in that second half, going up by 10, we were like, look, if we keep, like, we can't, just because we're up 10 don't mean we got to slow it down now and try to play conservative. Let's keep playing our game. And we just kept going up. But it starts on the defensive end. If we don't get those stops, then we just trading buckets, and then they end up probably pulling it out because the refs are probably, the refs are going to favor the number 1 seed over the 16 seed. You know how that goes. So we were like, oh, let's keep our foot on their mouth.
So after you guys went, you beat them by 20. And that was, I think, the most shocking part is you didn't just beat them. You just destroyed them all game long. You controlled the entire game. What was the funnest call that you got? Or what? Because you go from, like, nobody even knows what UMBC stands for to you're a household name overnight. What was the funnest phone call or the funnest thing that came out of that immediately following the next couple of days?
It was a lot of memes. It was a lot of different memes on, like, Instagram, Twitter. I would have to probably go back and give you an example, but I don't know if it was one specific call that everybody was just like, damn, that's cool. I think, Steph sent us a pair, because we were Under Armour. He sent us a pair of his new shoes that were just coming out. I think that weekend or the week before that, he sent us all a pair of those shoes, which was really cool. The guys, like a lot of guys on the team play Fortnite, so then, Ninja and the Fortnite creators, some people got to Skype with Ninja, and then the Fortnite creators actually came to our hotel, gave us some gear. So it was a lot of different things that, highlighted that win for us. Different people going to have different things they share with you, but it was a lot of cool things that happened.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So after the tournament was over, you end up, you've graduated now, and you end up getting picked up by the Jazz. Did you kind of have an expectation of what you were going to do next? Obviously, you want to play in the next level.
Yeah.
Did you know anything about Utah? Had you ever been out here to Utah before?
Nah, this is my first time being out to Utah in the summer when I was on that team for Summer League. But now I've never been out to Utah. Didn't really know what to expect. I mean, everybody that I asked, well, how was Utah? They're just like, it's quiet, really nothing to do, dry. It's not like here at home or whatever. But I mean, when I got here, it's pretty cool. I mean, it is quiet, not a lot to do, but I mean, it's a nice little area. It allows you to focus on your craft.
Yeah.
So
have you been back to talk with the coach or talk to this year's team at all since?
I haven't been able to be back, but I talked to a lot of the players on the team already, and then I haven't talked to Coach Odom in a couple of weeks, but I'll be back. We go to play the City Go-Go on the 1st of February, so I'll stop if we have time because I think we got a back-to-back. But during the All-Star break, I'll be back home. So we got like 5 days, I think. So I'm going to be back home. I'll definitely go show them a visit if they playing home, catch a couple games. So that's definitely on my
What makes Coach Odom such a good coach?
I think he was just, when he first came in, it's always growing pains every time you got a new coaching staff and basically they're coming in a new situation and we're in a new situation. So it's always growing pains. But I think like the thing that in the second year, his journey with us was, he's a player's coach, so he listens to us. He's not really, he yells sometimes, but he's not really the one that's going to be all yelling at us and you can't do this, you can't do that. He lets us play freely. And then the others on the staff too were just like that. So I just think we had a great relationship as a team, and then as far as our coaching staff player relationship, we all had good relationships too.
Yeah. Well, and so having gone through an experience of playing for a couple different coaches, and then being able to experience different universities. It's kind of an advantage that you get now. Coming out to Utah, you're probably a little bit more comfortable in a new setting and you're just kind of starting over again. For you, going from kind of relatively unknown at UMBC to like thrown into the spotlight to, you know, then all of a sudden you got, all right, now I got my life ahead of me again. Yeah. Was that difficult to like have that moment of fame and then kind of, because I don't think we know what to do with those moments until they come, right? Was that difficult afterwards to kind of fall back into reality and normal life again?
Nah, it wasn't difficult because I don't think I was ever out of reality. Like, I always knew what it was. Like, going to UMBC, like, people was like, oh, well, do you think that helped you with Utah Jazz picking you up or just getting the opportunity? I was like, I mean, I was going to have the same opportunity no matter what. I knew it was like, they were going to be like, oh, look at this kid. He went to a mid-major. We don't really care what he did or how much he averaged or what he can do. He's going to have to prove himself all over again. And that's basically, I always knew that going into, like, me graduating and not being a college player no more and stepping into the professional world. So I always knew it was going to be an uphill battle. So nothing really surprised me or not prepared. Nothing really surprised me or, like, it wasn't overwhelming. Really,
yeah.
Because I was prepared. Coming in, I already knew what it was going to be coming into the situation. So
did you pick yourself, your own team in your guys' college bracket, in the tournament bracket?
I didn't make one. I never make one.
Oh, you never made one?
I just feel like that's so stressful, like picking, going up and down, just saying, oh, well, he's going to, I think this team going to win. It's just too stressful. I'd rather just watch the games.
I think I read the governor of Maryland picked you guys to beat Virginia.
I don't think, probably a couple of people probably picked us, but I don't even think, like, our families probably didn't even pick us to win that game. And well, why should they, though? Like, they were trying to get that, whether they were betting or anything, they were trying to get that money too. So,
did people ever come up to you and be like, man, you broke my entire bracket?
Yeah, all the time. To this day, people still say that. People still say that.
I think people have never been so happy to have their bracket broken.
Yeah, but it was always love, though. Every time they
for sure,
people recognized who we were, it was always like, oh, y'all busting my bracket. But it was like, yeah, that's really incredible what y'all did. So
that's cool. So when you guys watch like one shining moment at the end, you know, did it hit you the reality of just how cool it was that you had taken your team as a 16 seed? Yeah,
I mean, I think we probably won't appreciate like everything that happened until later down the road, until it hasn't been done yet again for another 10, 15 years.
Yeah, what do you think? You think somebody's going to do it again soon?
Probably. Or? I think it will happen again. Just because after seeing it's like after seeing somebody do, I think a lot of teams go into facing number one seeds like already knowing that they're gonna lose. So like that probably like, I mean, they can start off good and then, you know, like once reality sets in for them, it's like, damn, they up 10 and then they get overwhelmed. It's like now they up 20. I just think like if more teams probably went in like knowing that everybody it's a game of running, so they're gonna go on their run, you can go on your run, but it's how you respond. Yeah, that's how you win those games.
Well, I remember there was a couple of years ago, I think it was 2012. It was like Lehigh or whatever. It was playing Duke, and that was a really good Duke team. It had Rodney Hood. And,
that's when CJ McCollum.
That's right, and CJ McCollum. So you had kind of a similar situation. You had the stud point guard, you know, leads his team, and that Duke team. Most people thought they should have been a 1 seed. You know, Jabari Parker and Rodney Hood and several other really good players. And you know, they kind of got whooped all game. Similar situation because CJ McCollum was you know, leading this team. So I think that's kind of that formula, right? You got this team that's kind of overlooked a little bit. They've got that one star on the team that can, and then the rest of the guys get hot like your teammates did. And next thing you know, it's
not just going to be that one person because he can have 40 or 50 that game. Right. Y'all end up losing by 20. It has to be. It's going to be a team effort. If a 16 seed is to beat a 1 seed again, it's not going to be like everybody's going to have to contribute.
Yeah.
Like one player might have the game high, but like everybody's going to have, you know, this dude might have to have 8 assists, and this dude might have to play excellent defense all game, or this dude might have to make all his shots. If he gets the opportunity, like whenever he gets it, he has to make those shots. So
yeah. Well, do you think it's the biggest upset in sports history? You've got, because I know when I was a kid, I watched Mike Tyson get beat by Buster Douglas, but you didn't watch it live, right? It was kind of like you heard about it the next day. And
I mean, it's probably generational. I think for like our generation, probably but like for older people, probably that's seen more crazy stuff happen, they probably be like, I don't think it's the biggest upset, but I just think for college basketball for sure.
Well, how do you feel knowing like you give this hope to all these underdogs all over the world for the next 20, 30 years, you're going to give hope to these underdogs that go into these games. I mean, it's got to be a pretty cool mantle to be able to carry.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, anytime you can, inspire other people, other teams, it's a blessing. But they got to run with it. They got to actually use it, not just be like, oh, they did it so we can do it. They got to actually believe it, not just because we did it. They got to believe they can do it.
Yeah. Well, last question, but do you have a favorite moment from the tournament or from that game that you just stands out to you where you're just like, that was when you were just like, this is my moment?
Yeah, after the game, it was my favorite moment when it was over. I was so tired because they, like I said, they make you guard for full, and I was guarding guys, so he just running around all day. Like, if you don't get a screen, if you don't get open on this screen, you're gonna come off 2 more on the other side. So I had to guard him. I was even cramping that game. Like the last 4 minutes of that game, I think I was cramping. It might have been even 6 minutes left in the game. But I think talking to like Grant Hill and all those guys, Charles Barkley, after the game and stuff like that was really cool. But yeah, just winning that game.
There's probably like a sense of relief even as well, right? Because you finished the job. Well, man, it'll be exciting to see what happens in the tournament this year. Good luck to you as you keep going forward here. And, man, it's been a pleasure. And thank you for the entertainment.
Thanks for having me.
All right, my friend.